Welcome to another special edition of Game Changers presented by Comerica Bank. Today, I am so lucky to be joined by four individuals that are making a huge impact on the city of Detroit. In honor of Black History Month, I am talking to four people that have impacted the community in Detroit, specifically the Black youth. All of you do amazing things. So we're going to start with the introductions. We have HORATIO Williams, who is the founder of the HORATIO Williams Foundation, Jason McCrimmon, founder of Detroit Ice Dreams, and then Jacqueline Moore, founder of SDM2 Project Education, and Robert Jameson, CEO of Detroit PAL. So I just listed off some incredible foundations and organizations, as I mentioned, are impacting the youth in the city of Detroit. HORATIO, why don't we start with you? You have an amazing background story and why you started the HORATIO Williams Foundation. So tell us a little bit about that and what exactly your foundation is.
Well, actually, Horatio Williams Foundation is a leadership foundation, and our goal is always to make sure all inner city youths have a fair chance of education, of getting extra curriculum when it comes to after school programs or tutoring. If we can provide more tutoring for the kids and give them more opportunities so we help them with their education, that's been our main goal. And the foundation is a leadership foundation. We always want to develop leaders. You know, when you play sport, you're a part of something, and you always try to build them all to be leaders and build their confidence level up, whatever they're doing. So that's always been our goal, is to give back and make sure we can give our kids a fair chance.
And Horatio, you're a lifelong Detroiter, so I'm sure it's super important to you to help the city of Detroit specifically. Why does that mean so much to you?
Well, coming up, you know, I came from the East Side Center, and once the East Side Center closed, we moved over to Bustle Family Center, and that's all we really had. You know, we never wanted to stay in the house. We just wanted to get out and play. Then they started the East Side Coast, which was a PAL organization in 1974. So it just gave us something to do, opportunities to get out, just be a part of something. You know, back then you had neighborhoods where everyone can go in anybody's house without the doors being locked and things like that. So it's always been a passion of mine to try to restructure that and give that back to the community.
Horatio mentioned the importance of sport and how it gives kids something to be a part of and teaches them leadership skills. Jason McCrimmon, the founder of Detroit Ice Dreams, helps bring the sport of hockey to kids in the city. Jason, why was that so important to you to grow the game of hockey, especially in the city of Detroit?
Well, for me, I was very, very fortunate to be able to play the game of hockey at a high level. Being from the city of Detroit, to watch the program, and I was over there. They had Detroit Hockey Association. They ended up dissolving. Me and Cynthia Warlaw, we ended up taking over and creating a new program. Not only that we deal with hockey, but we deal with a lot of community stuff. We give away turkeys every year. We do a lot of stuff with families. We adopt schools. We do a lot of Christmas stuff. We want to just make sure that we teach more than just sports. We want our guys to be, guys and girls to be functional people in society once they leave our program and be able to give back and just understand the value of being a good person and, being able to build something positive in your community.
That's a wonderful message and more the reason to get involved with Detroit Ice Dreams. And I do want to ask you a little bit about your involvement with Learn, Play, Score, which is another initiative by the Red Wings to bring hockey to the inner city and kids that may not have had access to that. Just how much have you seen that grow and how important is it for our professional sports teams like the Red Wings and the Tigers to get involved in things like this?
Well, first off, I want to talk about, and he's not here with us, but he's a great ambassador for the city of Detroit. Even, so the legend of him is Marlo Stoudemire, and that was who brought us together for the Detroit Red Wings, me and Kevin Brown. Like, we already had Detroit Ice Cream going, and we were already pretty much heavy in the community. But with that partnership from Marlo built with me and Kevin Brown to do Learn, Play, Score, it's amazing for the reach that we'll have inside the city with these different community centers and different schools to be able to get the game of hockey out and not only create future hockey players, but lifelong Red Wing fans and guys who love the game of hockey.
And now we're going to move on to talking to Jacqueline Moore, the founder of SDM2 Project Education. Jacqueline, SDM2 focuses on the growth and development of our youth, like all of the other organizations and foundations that we're talking about today, but specifically middle school and high school students. So tell us a little bit about what SDM2 does and offers for the youth in our city.
But what we offer is a chance to see beyond the present situation. So our foundation is all about academics and entrepreneurship. We tell our young people that you are an entrepreneur. You are a CEO of your life. Every day you present yourself as you own this. And so we show them how to do that in a variety of different ways. We understand the importance of maximizing your space, impacting your space. So we talk about academics, we talk about standards, but we talk about ownership, having a seat at the table in the city of Detroit where you can make decisions. And what does that look like? Establishing LLCs for every young man that comes through our mentorship program and begin to walk them through the process of being an independent thinker. We go into the homes, we do everything we can to partner with parents to ensure that the entire environment is the best that we can, is adding value to the growth of that youth, whether male or female. We bring in different people from all walks of life to just engage with our young people to let them know that there are no limits on you. And so our goal is to really put them at the seat of the table in the city of Detroit and beyond, and let them understand that they have the ability to do that.
That's incredible, and I'm sure it provides some great opportunities for the children that come through your program. Do you have any success stories that you can think of off the top of your head, or children that have gone through your program and have since, I guess we can use the term, graduated from it, and what they're
Yes.
doing now and have come back to help?
Well, I will tell you, we have several. Over the years, we see up to 200 to 300 students a year. Our mentorship program with our youngest much smaller, but we have students. First of all of my young men never wanted to go to school. That's number one. But we got them through school, across the stage, in careers, going to college, many of them, and several of them come back to be mentors themselves with other young men that are coming through our program. I'll tell you very quickly, we had a young man that was in our program that gave me a headache every single day. I'd have to kick him in his rear, not literally, often. And I'll tell you, one day he said, "You know what, Miss Jackie, I don't know why you pushing me, sir. I'm not going to live to see 20 anyway." This guy was 16 years old, and I took heart to that. But I'll tell you, we got that young man through. In 2020, August of 2020, he came down the street and he said, "Miss Jackie, I get it. We got him in a program, doing well, got across the stage, in a career path." And so all of those things are worth the fight every single day. When you see a young man or a young lady that is giving up their environment to them no longer offers an opportunity, and you can push them past to see life beyond that moment, that's what it's all about for us. So many of our youth have made it, have done well, and have come back to really support SDM2, and we're so excited about it.
Last but certainly not least, Robert Jamerson. He's the CEO of Detroit PAL. Robert, PAL provides accessibility to sports, which we talked about already, the importance in that, but so many other things. Can you just speak to what PAL does for the community and why you love being involved with it?
Yeah, so first, I got my own start at Detroit PAL. So as a 9-year-old, joined PAL through the sports leagues, and just got introduced to so many other opportunities. But Detroit PAL is a youth sports organization who's been around for 50 plus years, serving on any given year 12 to 15,000 youth. But more importantly, it's aligned to connecting mentors, right, who help to change the lives of these youth. And we couldn't do that without the support of our number one partner, which is the Detroit Police Department. And so when you think about what we do when we're at our best, we are being the best at collaboration. We're being the best at addressing the needs, which are socioeconomic, health and wellness, and education. And then we're being the best at training and development. Either it's mentors that we're training to be able to provide the foundation for these youth that we're bringing up, or it's training our staff so we can do things in an excellent way. And then finally, more importantly, being able to train our youth so they can find their greatness, which is our mission. We speak to people like HORATIO, who's on the call right now, who spoke to being an East Side coach, right? And so you think about the mentors that spoke life into him, where now he's doing the same thing. That's what we do when we're at our very best.
Robert, you mentioned that you yourself has gone through the busy guy over there. Look at that. He never stops working either with that phone ringing off the hook. But you mentioned that you got your start at Detroit Pal, which is amazing. What are some of the biggest things that you took from the program and kind of implemented into your life now?
Yeah, the first thing is that there was nothing ever achieved in a great way by yourself. And so I really learned from mentors who were able to pour into me to be able to help me to overcome challenges that sometimes I didn't even know that were in front of me. Also, just learned the importance of the team, the approach that we take to anything, meaning that Horatio may have a program here, Jacqueline may have a program here, but how do we partner to be able to offer the best opportunities to the youth that we serve? When you think about it, it takes all of us, and that's important. And the final lesson that I think I've learned that's really helped me is that we all drink from wells that we didn't dig, right? And so each of us have come from a place where we're now in a position to be able to dig wells for someone else to drink from. And I'm just feeling fortunate to be able to do that, but more importantly, understanding the importance of it just from my upbringing.
This question is going to be for all of you. So, Horatio, we'll go back to you to answer it first. We know that we're in a very important moment in time when it comes to social justice and racial equality. We've seen a lot happening around us, and you all focus on the youth of Detroit. Have you seen any positive changes in the direction where these kids do feel like they can do anything they want to do, no matter what color their skin is? And I'm hoping the answer is yes, but I'm really excited to hear what you guys have seen through this movement. And Horatio, as I said, we'll start with you.
Yes, I think a lot of them do see it now because they get opportunities. Before, everyone that's on this panel, really, and even yourself, we just want to have opportunity to prove that we can be better, that we can do things different, and we can achieve our goals. I told one kid I was so happy for this guy. He got a big position. The kid told me, he said, "No, he's qualified." So once you're dealing with minority kids, and a lot of times we don't feel that we qualified to do it, but it's a lot of people that's qualified. Just like he's running PAL, he's qualified to do that. It's not a no one should say somebody gave him something. No, he's qualified to do it. The young lady, she's qualified to do her educational piece. The young man that's played hockey, he's qualified, so he can teach somebody how to play hockey because he did it, because he's qualified to do that. So at the end of the day, it's all about opportunities and letting these kids build their confidence and let them know that they can do this.
Jason, we're going to go to you, and I'll repeat the question just to make sure that you did hear it. We're in an important moment in history when it comes to social justice and racial equality. We've seen it all around us, the positive movement in the right direction. And what I want to know from you is, have you seen that positivity reflecting in the youth that you're working with in Detroit Ice Dreams?
Yeah, it's given us more of a voice. Being in a situation just like Horatio said, or Mr. Williams, even more respect, Mr. Williams, because and the crazy part, I know about Mr. Williams for years from his program when I was coming up. So that's a blessing even to be on the same panel. But it just the situation of us giving us more of a voice, being able to have confidence, just like you said, with knowing that we're worth it, knowing that we have the values, knowing that we have the right stuff, as the kids would call it, to do the job without a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it just puts us in a position to have a lot more confidence in whatever we do, and know that we can carry out the task, 100%, if not more.
Jacqueline, what about you? Positive changes that you've seen?
I definitely see positive changes, but I will tell you, this panel here and others like us are really so important within the community because the message can get lost where our young people live in a bubble, meaning on their own block, within their own little space, that they don't always see things moving in their direction. And so I think when we're able to grab hold of young people and really bring them aware of their value, their power, and their ability to really impact and move forward, they become more aware of what social justice really is and how they need to move and to ensure that they're getting the very best. But I will say, yes, we're making progress, but we all know that there's so much more to do. And individuals on this panel and others, our work continues, but I'm excited about it, knowing that we've seen young people who understand and now they are part of being that voice as well.
Jacqueline, I'm actually glad you brought that up. And Robert, I will have you answer the previous question too. But the fact that there is so much more progress to make, what can everybody do to do their part and make sure that we don't have to talk about this in the future?
Well, I will tell you, it may be a conversation. I can't say the conversation is ever going to go away. But I will say that people will become more comfortable when we are comfortable having it more frequently. I think with anything, if you're willing to sit down and have an open dialogue and be comfortable with what's uncomfortable, we move forward and we grow. And I think that's happening more and more and more. And do we do away with it altogether? Maybe not, but every person that we impact, every person that we're able to have a conversation with, they can have a better understanding. We move closer to having a social justice to where it's not just for you or for me, but everybody clearly is participating in that process. But we can't lose sight, not one single day, that the message needs to continue in order for us to get to that point.
Very well said, Jacqueline. Now, Robert, we're going to get back to you for the first part of the question. Again, what positive changes have you seen now that we are heading towards the positive direction of social justice and racial equality?
Yeah, so I think I've seen it just from this call right here. When you start thinking about, I always look at there's freedom fighters in every position. Everybody has an opportunity to do something, and so seeing what's occurring here is always great. I always look at in two ways. How do you improve it where you sit, right? And how do you make a difference where you sit? In order to truly address systemic challenges that we face and have faced throughout history, you have to do things in a sustainable way. One-time things tend not to make the shifts that are necessary. Um, One-time gives are not the things that cause systemic changes in anything that we do. And so you need commitment. You need multiple people at the table thinking through from different perspectives, different approaches. And I always say, like in anything, I was just at a board meeting recently, and we had a person that's sitting on the board with us, and we looked around, and he was able to speak up and say, "We need to make a shift in our board because the board doesn't reflect what we see in the community." And so, in that, he was in a position of he's in that position. He potentially could be giving up himself sitting in that position, but he saw the need because he understands the importance of we all can do better when we come together and all have a voice. And so, opportunity to compete is so important, right? We at PAL, we at these organizations that are on this call, what we do when we're at our best, we equip, we give experiences, we give exposures to allow for people to compete. We don't want to compete when it comes to saying we're going to be inferior, but if we are equipped and we are given the same opportunities, we believe that everyone can compete. And when we compete, the best things come about when we compete.
Well, the four of you are truly an inspiration, and I'm honored to have been able to sit with you for some time today and talk about the great impact that you're making on our community. I thank the four of you for being here from the bottom of my heart. It's awesome to chat with you, and I think everyone's going to be truly inspired by your stories. And of course, I want to send a big thank you to the Red Wings and the Tigers for naming the four of them as our game changers, and a big thanks to Comerica Bank for helping us out with this. Thank you, guys. Go to DetroitRedWings.com/equality. There's information on the four of them and the organizations that they represent there, and you can learn more. Thanks again, guys.